Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a first impressions video for this, the Adidas Prime X. Maybe the most bonkers, controversial shoe ever made. But here are my first impression thoughts. So sit back, relax, and let's get stuck into this. Hi guys, thank you very much for joining us for another video. We'll split this video up into various sections so you can move your mouse around below to check out various different things. We'll start out by talking about the facts and figures of this crazy shoe. We'll then talk about what we like, what we don't like. We'll have a little conclusion at the end, and most importantly, is it going to be going into rotation and are we going to be using this in our training? Right, let's get stuck in to the facts and figures. Right, starting out, I paid £220 of my own money to buy this shoe off the Adidas website here in the UK. As always with our reviews, we want to give you completely impartial, unbiased thoughts. The stack height at the back is where the controversy starts. It's 50mm of huge stack height at the back, 40 at the front, giving that 10mm drop, getting ourselves nicely up on that forefoot as we run. This shoe weighs in at a whopping 324 grams, in my size a UK 12. For comparison, something like the Alphafly in my size weighs about 280, so significantly lighter. And then even lighter than that, the Vaporfly 2, it was about 250 grams. So very big, bulky shoe. That's what this is all about. There are 3 layers of Adidas's Premier Light Strike Pro, and then it has the usual Continental rubber here in the outsole, providing that grip, which I found to be very good as always in the Adidas model. This is very much a road shoe. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. I would not be wanting to take this anywhere near any sort of trails or anything other than very smooth asphalt road. There is the standard carbon rods that you see in Adidas's, the Adidas Pros and the Bostons. They've got those 5 carbon rods running through the front of the shoe. And then in this one, you have the additional 3, which you can see here in these green marks here, or orange on the first colorway. And then another carbon plate in the rear of the shoe as well, making 3 areas of carbon propulsion to help us on our run. This shoe comes in just the one width fitting, which for me was absolutely fine. It was true to size. I got this shoe in the same size as I got in the Bostons and in the Adios 2s. There's not a lot of recycled content in the shoe, but some, Adidas just say some of the upper is recycled. Right, let's get stuck in to the pros. Right guys, the likes. So yeah, we've used this shoe for around about 30k, around about 20 miles, running at all sorts of different paces and in different scenarios to give it that first impressions test. So the first like is the amount of cushioning in the shoe is extreme. Now as always, some people will like this, some people don't. I like a nice cushioned shoe, but this is so soft, without doubt the softest shoe I've ever run in. I would say it's even softer than the Alphafly, even with the AirPods at the front. Yeah, super soft, super cushioned. You really can't feel much of the road beneath you, but for longer endurance running, which is what the shoe is targeted for, that's kind of what we like. It's kind of what you'd expect. The shoe will really look after you on your long runs, but with the amount of foam in these shoes, it's really helping us go for longer and helping keep that fatigue away from our legs in our training sessions, which is where this shoe is marketed. The second like is the breathable upper and just that general lockdown fit of the upper and the laces. Airflow flows really nicely through the shoe and keeps the feet nice and cool. And the lockdown is nice. One caveat to that is it does take a few goes getting those laces. It's a little bit stop-start. I'd do the laces up, run for a bit, not quite right, and have to adjust it a few times. But when I got that sweet spot, they was really nice to run in. And my final positive is, I'm talking about sort of like the confidence, the design, the looks, the aesthetics, and how it feels when running fast. And when you're up to speed, it does feel surprisingly natural. I thought this would feel just like a huge bulk on the end of your foot, and it surprisingly doesn't, but when you're at speed. At slower speeds, and walking around and things like that, it feels really uncomfortable and unnatural. But once you're up to speed at that sort of marathon pace or half marathon pace, it feels perfectly fine and nice to run in. Right Right guys, let's move on to the negatives. Now the first one is the instability of this shoe. With that 50mm stack height at back and 40 at the front, going around corners in this thing is absolutely lethal. And yeah, I just haven't really wanted to test it out. As some of you know, I broke my ankle last year, unrelated to running, but I'm super protective over that. And I wouldn't want to be going near any twisty courses in this shoe. It is just not going to be suitable for that. Anything other than smooth asphalt, yeah, you just want to avoid. Added to that is this taper you get at the lateral edge here. Here on the back of the shoe. Yeah, so if you're a heel striker, you're landing, it is just tilting you to the side like that. So yeah, heel strikers really want to avoid something like this. And also, maybe in the back end of a marathon, back end of a big race, when we might be heel striking a little bit more as we fatigue, it's just going to cause a few issues there, or even running downhill as well. That lateral edge is just weird. I'm not sure why it's there, but it just causes even more instability. Moving on is these shoes. Legality. They are an illegal shoe to run in for the elites, for the pros, as in any sort of world athletics event. The stack height is too high, most importantly, and also it has too many carbon rods and plates in them. You're only allowed one, so there's 2 ways that this shoe will get banned. Now, yeah, you might say, well, I'm just the average Joe runner out there, who cares? Well, I don't know. If I ran a race in this shoe, I'm sure a lot of people would have something to say about it. And I'm sure if one of my big rivals or friends out there went out and set a big blazing PB, you'd be like, I don't know. Let me know. That's our question of the day today. Would you call out a friend that was running in this shoe, or would you think, fair enough, get on with it, who cares, you're out there having a good time? Where are your thoughts? Would you feel happy racing in something like this that doesn't conform? And my final negative is these shoes are just not that fast. Basically, I didn't find any speed improvements in this over the regular Adidas Pro 2 or anything that I've got in my rotation. I actually probably found them a little bit slower than the Nike offerings as well when I was doing my reps and things. Yeah, they just weren't that fast. Right guys, if you are finding this video useful, please like it and share it with your friends, and let us know what you're up to down in the comments below. It'd be really great. And also check out the website, benparks.com, for all the latest training plans and the best gear out there, hats and running tops as well, to help you with your training. So to conclude guys, should you go out and buy this shoe? Well, for me, I was almost quite happy that it wasn't that fast, or it wasn't as fast as I was hoping. I really hate getting all wrapped up in the shoe debate, and for me, fitness still wins out. You've got to do the hard work, you've got to do the miles. This is not a magic shoe that is suddenly going to have you making huge gains in your times and your performances out there. What I really like about this is it's a development shoe. Adidas haven't marketed it as a race shoe. A lot of us lay in bed at night thinking, what if they put 3 plates in a shoe in this 50mm stack height? Now you can see what happens. You can buy it and be part of that development process, and that's a really exciting place to be. But at the end of the day, for me, the high stack height is just too dangerous for anybody really to be running in. Yes, if you're a pro and you've got beautiful form and you're running nicely in a straight line, you've got a super fast course to run on, yeah, you could do really well in this shoe. But I really don't think you could do any better than the offerings that are already out there. At the end of the day, the extra weight and bulk of this shoe will come into play in the back end of some races as well. But as I keep coming back to, for doing your training, for doing those marathon pace long runs and some of those progressive runs, this really is a nice extra shoe to have in your stable, in your arsenal, and it's good fun to run in, and you feel like you're running in something quite different, unique, and something quite special. Right guys, so is this going into rotation? Well, what do you think? What am I going to say? Well, yeah, sadly not. I didn't have the issues in this shoe that I had in the Adidas Pro, of it just collapsing on one side. So it's nice to say with the stack height and probably the extra carbon rods in the front of the shoe, I didn't experience that. I have enjoyed running in it, but I just don't think I need it. I like doing my progressive long runs in the RC Elite 2 and some of those marathon pace efforts in the Nike offerings as well. And this is just not offering anything that I particularly need out there at the moment. But I've loved running in it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And are you going to get this shoe? And yeah, what do you think? What do you think about all the controversy that this shoe is bringing into the market at the moment? So there we have it guys, a fascinating shoe. I'm really glad that Adidas have put this out there for us to be part of that development testing process, to see what they're going to come up with in the future and just be part of that. It's a concept shoe in my eyes, something that is just interesting to be a part of. So as always, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for all the support with the Patreon legends and the YouTube legends supporting us here on the channel. My camera is about to overheat, so I better wrap this review up now. And yeah, thank you very much. We're off to get some more training in. We're going to see a lot of you legends at the London Marathon. Thanks guys, stay tuned, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.